Diamonds turned South Africa into a laboratory for racial capitalism. The lie of scarcity was thought up by the banks. In 1867, a child found a shiny stone on the banks of the Orange River. It's a diamond. And within a couple of months, thousands of white digger men are swarming to a patch of land they'd call Kimberley. This is Moses Montefiore. He was a Jewish-British merchant who specialised in gold, silver and diamonds. And he helped build the early global trade routes that linked London to the East India Company. And this is Nathan Rothschild, another Jewish-British merchant banker with a historic role in establishing this British web of global trade. Before a single pit opened at Kimberley, Cape Colony was already wired into British trade networks. The port at Cape Town was an important naval stop between London and India. They had been here for decades, extracting wool, wine, slaves. So when diamonds appeared, they were already in place to absorb that trade. Local Africans and Boer farmers had mined and traded small stones for a while, but they lacked access to this export network. It was the existing trade routes that decided who profited. London profited. The Rothschild family, J.S. Morgan & Co. and Lazard Brothers were metal traders and bond underwriters for the British state. The British Empire took loans from these private banking families to fund their colonial projects. This is Alfred Bate. He was a German-Jewish diamond buyer based in Hamburg. In 1875, he arrives in Kimberley as a buyer on behalf of a company, Jules Porridges & Co., to move Cape stones to London through Rothschild credit lines. We can address the elephant in the room here. These men were all Zionists. That's not anti-Semitic, that's historical fact. They were sent into South Africa as agents of capital. Their goal was to stabilise the extraction. This is Cecil Rhodes. If the British Empire had a face, he is their poster child. But we don't speak enough about who backed him or sent him to South Africa. This is Charles Rudd. He was the investor who gave Rhodes the money, but he himself had lines of credit with Rothschild. No matter which agent you identify as complicit in the early diamond trade, when you follow the money, the lines of credit, Rothschild and Montefiore. By the way, Montefiore was Rothschild's brother-in-law. You are looking at the front line of early financial colonization. By 1888, the British have either bought or intimidated any competition out of Kimberley. And everything coming out of South African mines was being guaranteed through share issue by the Rothschilds in London. It's effectively a colonial state merger, a private monopoly for the old boys club with imperial insurance, because all his securities are backed by the British Crown, unbeknownst to the taxpayer. This closed compound that they pioneered at Kimberley in the 1880s, scholars describe as extreme apartheid. This was a totalitarian labour control architecture. It predates the formal South African apartheid by decades. This is their blueprint. African workers are housed in these fenced enclosures. In a cage. Fenced enclosures is quite gentle scholarly wording. I'm going to go with cage. They're stripped naked on entry and exit to prevent any theft of the diamonds. Ironically, you're literally stealing from them, keeping them in a cage. Workers did 12-hour shifts in dangerous mines imposed by armed guard. The way the British speak about this place, though, is so fucked up. They were really happy. They said it solves a labour problem. Because you see, African workers that they recruited, again, my scholarly notes say recruited through networks. Recruited through human trafficking networks. Those people could be disciplined easier and more willingly than local Boers who asked for things like wages. Cecil Rhodes understood that diamond value depended on scarcity marketing. He's quoted in 1888 saying, "Common sense tells us that the only way to increase the value of diamonds is to make them scarce." This is not a conspiracy. This is documented. In 1888, Cecil Rhodes creates De Beers Consolidated Mines Limited. And on the board of shareholders is Alfred Bate and Nathan Rothschild. And they control every diamond pit in South Africa. But that wasn't enough for them. They didn't just want the mines, they wanted the land. So they go back to London and they petition Queen Victoria for a royal charter. The royal charter is granted to them on the 15th of October 1889. I'm filming this on the 17th of October 2025, almost 137 years to the day. That charter empowered this company to do many things that are normally reserved for governments. They could make treaties with local rulers, administer justice, they could tax residents in the area, maintain law and order, create their own police force, and of course exploit mineral resource. Royal charters were the British Empire's strategy. It was like syndicated imperialism, empire on the cheap. Let the charter companies do the heavy lifting of colonization so that there's less pressure on crown accounts, but give them full British legal claims as if they are the crown. What basically happened here is Rhodes and his cronies used diamond profits to lobby government in the UK to get a royal charter and then use that royal charter to invade and rule more of Africa in Britain's name. To be clear, I'm not saying that Cecil Rhodes lobbied Queen Victoria. He lobbied bankers and political influencers so that to the British establishment, it felt reasonable. By 1900, the financiers who went to Africa to extract for profit are now in complete control of land, labour and law across South Africa. Come back for part 2 where we will explore how that financial invasion hardened into apartheid.